tonight. Buhari confers GCFR honor on Tinubu. I won't disappoint Nigerians, Tinubu assures. FEC approves new policy for multi-purpose NIN debit cards. Stop aviation minister from continuing with Nigerian air projects. And to the next one, Timothy Adegoke's mother, Adedoyin, workers get judgment May 30th. And on sports, Gusau charges Flying Eagles to beat Brazil in final group game. Now the news in detail. Outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari has conferred the national honor of Grand Commander of Order of Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, on the incoming President of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Buhari conferred the honor on Tinubu at the ongoing investiture ceremony in Abuja today. The GCFR honor comes as part of the investiture ceremony for the President-elect and his Vice President, Kashim Shettima. Recall that Buhari had expressed his eagerness to hand over in the next few days. President Buhari will hand over next month on May 29 to the President-elect Tinubu. Buhari had been under immense pressure, catching up with an array of events lined out for the inauguration, coupled with wrapping up official duties of his office. This was contained while he said by May 29 this month he will be doing the handover. The President was joined by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, the Minister of Defense, Major General Salihi Magashi, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Irabo, and service chiefs at the close of the regimental dinner organized in his honor by the Armed Forces at the newly commissioned Nigerian Armed Forces Officers Mess at Sokoro, Abuja on Tuesday. The President commissioned the new Nigeria Customs Service Headquarters buildings in Maitama district of the FCT, before virtually inaugurating 6 other projects across the country. He also presided over another extraordinary Federal Executive Council FEC meeting from midday till late Tuesday evening before heading out for the regimental dinner. To the next story. The President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday in Abuja said he would not disappoint the trust conferred upon him by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired, and millions of Nigerians. He also affirmed that he understands the magnitude of the honor conferred upon him and the corresponding tasks ahead. Tinubu made the promise in his acceptance speech after he was conferred with the national honor of Grand Commander of the Federal Republic at the State House Banquet Hall, Abuja. I understand the magnitude of the honor conferred on me today and the tasks ahead. Nigerians deserve no less. You, Buhari, have charted a course, and I shall not disappoint you, he said. Thus, the conferment makes Tinubu the 16th person to hold the GCFR honor. Those before him are Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Shehu Shagari, Olusegun Obasanjo, Abdulsalam Abubakar, Ibrahim Babangida, Ernest Shonekan, Sani Abacha, Moshood Abiola, Umar Yar'Adua, and Goodluck Jonathan. Others who have been conferred with the title include British monarch Queen Elizabeth II, South Africa's Nelson Mandela, and former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. Buhari also conferred Vice President Kashim Shettima with the honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger. Earlier, he handed 3 key transition documents to the President-elect in the line with Executive Order 14, mandating the Transition Council to issue handover notes containing, amongst other things, proposed policy direction to the incoming administration. And to the next story. The Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, has approved new policy that can now allow Nigerians to request their commercial banks to provide them with a debit card which doubles as a national identity card at no extra cost than the normal fees charged for debit cards. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pentemi, made the disclosure while briefing the State House correspondents after Wednesday's valedictory meeting of the Council's meeting at the Aso Rock Villa. According to him, the memo is from the National Identity Management Commission, allowing banks to print debit cards that double as national identity cards. Pentemi said although the NIMC Act 2007 only mandates Nigerians to have a national identity number and not necessarily a printout card, Demands for cards have swelled nonetheless. He explained that as in the NIMC Act 2007, Section 27, what is mandatory for our citizens and legal residents in the acquiring of the national identity number, not the card. However, the card is optional. But many citizens, particularly those living in rural communities, always go to NIMC offices complaining that they need the card at hand even though it's optional. To make it easier, NIMC last year will introduce a smart ID card you can download from NIMC app. It is just a smart card, you don't need to have it physically, but that is becoming difficult for our people living in rural communities. To the next story from the World News this hour at BGI TV Current. As Nigerians await the arrival of the aircrafts for the proposed national carrier, Nigeria Air, and the commencement of its operations May 26, 2023, as earlier announced by the Minister of Aviation, Senator Sirika, on Wednesday, the Nigerian Airlines, through their solicitors, has written to the outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari to stop the Minister of Aviation from going ahead with the project. A letter specifically addressed to President Buhari dated May 24, 2023, by the solicitors of the Airline Operators of Nigeria (AON), Nigeria Air Project last-minute plan disobedience to court order and deliberate plan to rubbish the achievement of this administration, signed by Abubakar Nuhu Ahmed Esquire of the Nurini Jimo San Chambers, drew the attention of the President to the suits filed by the Nigerian Airlines to question this shady deal, deliberate infraction of the Nigerian laws, and self-enrichment, mainly against the Federal Ministry of Aviation over the Nigerian Air Project. The solicitors, apart from describing the last-minute action of the minister as a plot to evade allegations of corruption raised in the pending case, warned if not stopped by Buhari, is capable of destroying the image of the outgoing administration. According to the solicitors in the suit, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos presided over the Honorable Justice A.L. Alagua, and the above suits granted orders of interim and interlocutory injunctions in the terms contained in order restraining taking any step in relation to the Nigeria Air Project. Copy each of orders are enclosed as annexures 1, 1, 2, and 3. It is a clever way to violate the above orders regardless of the stain on the record of this administration and to cover up for corruption actions raised in the case. This posture tends to destroy the very good image earned by President Buhari-led administrations for years. We trust you will stop this negative action of the Minister of Aviation to ensure compliance with terms of the order. Going to the next story. Judgment in the trial of the alleged murder of Timothy Adegoke, a postgraduate student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, is to be delivered next week. The Point reliably learned from court officials on Wednesday that the Chief Judge of Osun State, Justice Adekunle Ojo, is expected to deliver the judgment. It was gathered that the verdict will be delivered at exactly 9 a.m. on Tuesday, May 30th, at the State High Court 1 sitting in Osogbo. The owner of Hilton Honors Hotel, Ile-Ife, Rahman Adedoyin, and 6 office hotel workers, including Magdalene Chefuna, Adeniyi Aderoba, Oluwole Lawrence, Oyetunde Kazim, Adebayo Kunle, and Adedeji Adeshola, are standing trial over the death of Adegoke. The defendants had been remanded in prison since their first arraignment in February 2022 and had been attending their trial from custody. At the last sitting in April 2023, Ojo, the presiding judge, received the final written and counter addresses from parties. Counsel to the defendants, including Yusuf Ali, Roland Otaru, and Murtala Abdurrashid, in their separate applications, had asked the court to declare null and void the appearances, applications, and other legal activities of the prosecuting counsel, Femi Falana, for allegedly lacking local standing to prosecute the matter. They urged the court to declare null and void and unconstitutional the appearances, applications, and entire proceedings that Falana, Fumi Falana, and Fatima Additional took part for failing to show proof that they were prosecuting with the approval of the Attorney General of Osun State and Commissioner of Justice. While stressing that Falana does not possess fiat from the State Attorney General to prosecute the matter and that he failed to present any evidence of the fiat to the court, the defense counsel prayed for an order of the court to set aside the proceedings in which Falana and his fellow prosecuting colleagues participated and to also impair their further application in the matter. However, Falana had argued that he obtained a fiat from the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice of Osun State to prosecute the matter. He said that the Osun State Attorney General had sent 3 lawyers to the court on April 25, 2022 and handed the prosecution of the matter to him and wondered what the defense counsel stood to achieve by making the applications. While adopting their separate final written addresses, the defense counsels had prayed the court to discharge and acquit the defendant on murder and other allegations charged against them, saying that the prosecution had not proved beyond reasonable doubt that their clients were guilty as charged. The prosecuting team had also urged the court to ensure that justice was done on the matter, maintaining that the defendant murdered and disposed of the remains of the postgraduate student Timothy Adegoke. And to the next story, the Joint Health Sector Unions and the Assembly of Healthcare Professional Association have directed their members to embark on an indefinite strike. The National Vice President of JOESU, Dr. Obinna Ogbonna, said these at a press conference held in Abuja today. JOESU is the umbrella body of health workers, unions and associations, including the Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Nigeria Union of Allied Health Professionals, Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associate Institutions, and Senior Staff Association of Universities, Teaching Hospitals, Research Institutes, and Associated Institutions. The leadership of JOESU had, in a letter dated May 9, 2023, issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government over alleged inconsistencies of the government in the ongoing negotiations to adjust the consolidated health salary structure for health workers on the platform. The 15-day ultimatum commenced on May 10, 2023 and will expire at midnight on Wednesday, May 24, 2023. Obinna said it becomes imperative to inform you that since the federal government is yet to meet these demands, our members have been directed by the JOESU National Executive Council to proceed on an indefinite strike action upon expiration of the ultimatum by midnight of May 25, 2023. And to the next story. The Department of State Services has disclosed that some elements are planning to disrupt the handover ceremonies in some parts of the country. According to the service, these elements plan to undermine the effort of the security agencies as well as cause panic among the citizens. In a statement released on Thursday by the spokesperson for the service, Peter Afunaya, the DSS urged citizens to adhere to the laid down protocols for the event across the country. The service is, however, aware of plans by subversive elements to disrupt the programs in parts of the country. The aim is to undermine security agencies' efforts at ensuring peaceful ceremony as well as creating panic and fear among members of the public. Based on these, citizens, the media, and civil society organizations are advised to adhere strictly to security and civil protocols during the event, advising Nigerians to shock fake news that could cause violence in the country. He urged unaccredited persons to stay away from the inauguration venues. Additionally, all unauthorized and unaccredited persons are warned to stay away from restricted and certain designated areas at the venue service and venues. The service reiterates its earlier call for the populace to remain calm and law-abiding. Meanwhile, it will continue to sustain collaboration with sister agencies to ensure successful inaugurations. Going on to the north. Bandits have reportedly released the remaining 2 abducted female students of Federal Government College, Birnin Yahuri, Kebbi State. Information recalls that 11 students were kidnapped from school on June 17, 2021. 4 of them had been released in April 2023, before 3 others were also released on May 7. It was gathered that the 2 remaining students, Faida Sani Kauje and Saifia Idris, were released after an intense negotiation between the victims' parents and the kidnappers. The parent had said the bandit demanded 100 million naira for the girls. The long delay in releasing the student was due to the kidnapped bandit kingpin Dogo Gide's insistence that some conditions be met by the Kebbi State government. From that story from the north, we go to foreign story. Net migration in the UK hits a record 606,000 in 2022. Official figures showed on Thursday, heaping pressure on the government, which has pled to court dependency on foreign labor. Responding to the figures, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak described legal immigration level as too high. It is as simple as that, and I want to bring them down, he told ITV in an interview. Measures announced earlier this week to tighten the number of international students allowed to bring their families with them would have a significant impact, he added. Immigration has long been a key political issue in the UK and was one of the main battlegrounds of the Brexit referendum in 2016, which saw the country leave the European Union. In 2021, net migration, the difference between the number of people leaving the UK and those arriving, was 488,000. Before we end the news today, it's the sports story. President of Nigeria Football Federation, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has hailed the Flying Eagles for their impressive 2-0 win over Italy at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup on Wednesday. He has also urged the team to go for all 3 points against Brazil in their final group game to sustain their winning mentality. The NFF Supremo spoke minutes after the two-time World Cup silver medalist stunned Italy 2-0 in Mendoza to soar to the top of Group D at the ongoing Global Fiesta in Argentina, with a commanding performance that left the Italians and their thousands of supporters flustered and crestfallen at the Estadio Malvinas Argentina. Pre-game, the bookmakers had the encounter all in favor of the Italians, who overrun Brazil with 3 goals in the rapturous first 45 minutes on Sunday, before the South Americans reduced the tally by 2 in the second period. Against the Flying Eagles, the pacey Italians could not find their rhythm and simply watched Nigerians dominate several sectors of the pitch, with 2 well-taken second-half goals by Salim Fago Lawal and Jude Sunday, no more than the African flag bearers deserved on the nights. With the sports story, we end the world news this hour from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some major headlines. Buhari confers GCFR honor on Tinubu. I won't disappoint Nigerians, Tinubu assures. FEC approves new policy for multi-purpose NIN debit cards. And on sports, Gusau charges Flying Eagles to beat Brazil in their last group game. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.